Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays. Got some videos today I want to show from the year 1978. I'm just going to spotlight three good movies from 1978. One of them was new that I recently discovered, and I just want to show off a couple other movies from that year. It's kind of a turning point year. A lot of good stuff was released. It's coming close to being the end of the 70s. Was such a watershed decade for creativity in Hollywood, with all the independent directors and producers putting together, making some great stuff. The 70s are probably my favorite year or decade of film. I really love the 20s and 30s. I love all decades. It's hard to really say, but I really like the 70s. Some of this stuff that came out was really good. And today I'm going to spotlight a few movies that came out in 78. So, a movie I recently got, I believe I've seen this on TV at some point. And I saw it and was like, man, that's an interesting movie. It was directed by Walter Hill, who did some great action movies, 70s and 80s and stuff, and 90s even. The Warriors, for one. And it's a movie called The Driver, starring Ryan O'Neal. Ryan O'Neal did some great movies in the 70s. He worked with Stanley Kubrick and made what's it called? Ding 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 ding. I'm trying to think. Stanley. Anyways, okay. He worked with Stanley Kubrick, and then he worked with Peter Bogdanovich and made a movie called Nickelodeon, which was kind of a throwback to the 20s, silent days and stuff. It was pretty good. I always liked him in that movie from the 70s. Barry Lyndon, that was the movie with Stanley Kubrick, which is probably his best role he's ever played, hands down. And really, kind of shocking that that Stanley Kubrick would pick Ryan O'Neal. It's kind of like, I guess he was the Tom Cruise of the 70s, sort of. If you think about it, he would work with Tom Cruise on Eyes Wide Shut later on, and they have similarities to me. But anyways, let's go back to this movie. This came out in 1978, directed by Walter Hill, written by Walter Hill, starring Ryan O'Neal, Bruce Dern, and Isabel Adjani. It's also got a interesting role by Ronnie Blakely. It's also produced by Frank Marshall, amongst other things. Released through 20th Century Fox, and it's basically it's almost like the movie that came out a few years ago, Baby Driver, where he's a driver to bank robberies and stuff, and that's basically what this is. It's almost like Baby Driver. It's like, did Baby Driver rip this off or a tribute to this? Okay, because Ryan O'Neal plays a kind of a burnout driver to bank robberies. He's got a reputation throughout the city as the best driver for this. So he has kind of a we call it a liaison who kind of goes, gets him to do some jobs for people, kind of gets him, she's the woman that can find him. And it's not really said like what their relationship was. Maybe were they maybe wife and husband at one time? It's kind of, that relationship is kind of different. But basically, Ryan O'Neal, he's hired for this robbery, and he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to work with the guys involved in it, because they're just loose cannons. They're just out of control. They're crazy. He wants to work with someone professional, smooth, that can get the job done quietly and get out of there and keep their mouth shut. but somehow or another he gets trapped into doing this job with them because they're working for the cops, led by Bruce Dern, who's kind of a crooked cop, really. He knows what's going on, and he's trying to bust this case so he can get the status or something in the police world, you know. But Bruce, so they're these two, you know, f ups. Basically, got caught by Bruce Dern, and they're like, you know, I want the driver. Bruce Dern wants him. He wants to bust him because he's such a high profile guy. So basically they do this job, it's out of control, blah blah blah. Some great driving scenes in this, some great action, man. It's just great car chases in it. I'm surprised it's not more well known in talking about like car chases. I mean, Bullet is probably the best car chase movie, French Connection. But this movie's got some really good stunts in this. It's really great. Highly recommend this. Watch it. If you've seen Baby Driver, then watch this and see the comparisons and see, like, is this a tribute? Is this a rewrite of Driver? Because Driver came first, and but I highly recommend it. 1978 it came out. Another movie, 1978, won Best Picture that year, The Deer Hunter. I did a video, I had this as a new release. But this is a great movie dealing with Vietnam. A group of friends get together, you know, they're close-knit. They basically get drafted, or maybe they, it doesn't really say. They're all going over there to Vietnam, and some of them doesn't come back, and you know the story of Deer Hunter. But it's such a good movie from 1978. It's like when I think of 1978, I think of this movie, and I think of the next movie, Coming Home. This one's got Jane Fonda, Jon Voight, and also Bruce Dern. He's also in this movie. And, you know, Jane Fonda, love her or hate her, you know, she's kind of a, I don't know, pariah, I guess you could say, in Hollywood. Some people hate her, some people love her, but I don't, you know, Jane Fonda is really good in some good movies. You know, it's kind of like you gotta, you know, whatever she did politically. But it's funny though that this is a movie dealing with Vietnam. Jane Fonda basically, and Bruce Dern are married, and they're, you know, he goes overseas, he comes back. Jon Voight comes back. He needs, you know, he got shot. He's getting rehab. Jane Fonda, who works with him, they fall in love with each other, and it's kind of this love triangle, and it's kind of dealing with the pain and the issues of coming back and trying to be normal after dealing in war and dealing with killing and coming home and then trying to be a domestic person, you know, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed, you know, after you've did this wild tour of duty, you know. It's one of those movies, you know. It's based on a screenplay by Waldo Salt, who also worked with John Voight in Midnight Cowboy, based on that. Haskell Wexler's photography in this. He's such a perfectionist. Love Haskell. Great movie. And last but not least is directed by Hal Ashby. Hal Ashby is a legendary director. He did his main movies from the 70s. He would finish off the decade with this movie, and it's just a great movie. It's like when I think of 78, I think of these two movies. And also my sister was born in 1978, so, but those things, kind of what makes me think about this. And this is I recently got this. I didn't have it before. It's one of those movies that if I'm flipping through the channels and it's on, I'll watch it. You know, it's kind of like I always get drawn into the story. So I finally got me a copy. It's from Eureka Masters of Cinema. It's spine number 211. So I'm gonna add that. It's got some special features on here, some interviews, commentary, and some stuff like that. Commentary with Haskell Wexler, Bruce Stern, John Voight. So highly recommend that. And of course, The Deer Hunter. What can I say? Great movie. Complicated. Also relationships. It's kind of like how it almost changes a person, or does a person really come out who they are? And that's how they survived. I don't know. There's so many things to Deer Hunter you can analyze and just really see different stuff. That's why it's such a great movie that still just endures. It's still good now. So I think these are 3 good movies from '78. If I don't say so myself, these are some really good movies, and I highly recommend these guys. Coming Home, you don't have to get the Eureka copy. It's available. I believe MGM UA has some DVDs and Blu-rays of it out. It's on Laserdisc. Of course, it's on VHS. Same with this. It's available on DVD, Laserdisc, etc. And I'm not really sure about The Driver. I don't think it's on Blu-ray yet. I don't believe. I tracked it down recently and found it, and I don't think I've seen a Blu-ray. But maybe, I don't know, I got the DVD, but it looks fine. Great movie. So there you go, guys. 3 movies from 1978. Great movies. Go out, watch them, find them somehow and watch them. I highly recommend them. For your collectors out there, I recommend those. I think there's some better editions of Deer Hunter out. I think there's a 4K out now. But there you go, guys. Thanks for watching today. I really appreciate you watching this episode, sticking through it and finishing it. I really enjoy that. Sometimes I ramble a little bit and kind of mess up facts, and I have a brain fart and forget things all of a sudden, but that's me. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe today. Make that commitment today. Subscribe and hit that bell. Ring it, and you'll be notified when I release a new episode. And really would appreciate thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you felt like it. Appreciate that thumbs up. And shoot me some comments. Would love to talk to you about that. And till next time, guys, watch good movies and be safe out there. It's the best thing we can do right now. So I will see you later.